Saturday night, and I'm going to do it again. Probably the final time. I'm going to do the Charles Shaw, formerly known as $2 Chuck wines. They're now $4 each. So the Pinot Grigio, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay. Then for reds, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Shiraz, Red Blend. I did also buy their Trader Joe's Reserve Cabernet Sauvignon. I think that was $13, or I think it was $15. To the right of that is a wine called Juggernaut, made by Bogle. And I wanted to stick it in this lineup because I kind of wanted to hate it, but I actually don't hate it. And I think the price is really good. I want to see how it fares against these wines. And then a wine called Trilogy, 2015, Flora Springs Cab out of Napa, as a $60 just baseline. See how that wine is compared to all this, just to make sure my palate is in the right place. So without further ado, let's get to this tasting. All prepped and poured. If there's any observation I can make, is the Reserve Cab did look darker. All the reds looked exactly the same. The whites had some color variation, and obviously the last two, the Juggernaut and Trilogy, had a much darker color. It doesn't mean much because, as we know, they could add a lot of different things to wines. So let's get it started now that all of this is prepped. So there's a lot of wine, so I'm going to be spitting most of it out. And I'm starting with the Pinot Grigio. I don't know if there's anything interesting to say about the vintages of these. This is a 2019, so hopefully I can get through these relatively quickly. And then on to dinner. It's Pinot Grigio, huh? So aromatic. Smells like peaches. Smells like white wine. Smells like peaches. Does not smell cheap. And there is an aroma. So far so good. I've done this before, and the other observation I made is all the finishes were very, very short finish. It doesn't taste bad by any stretch. Acid's a little bit not as zingy as it should be. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I'll rank them all at the end. So I'd say that wine is drinkable. I'm gonna try to go fast too, because there's a lot of wine. Sauvignon Blanc next, 2020. Like I said, I don't know if the vintages matter much here, but ooh. So Sauvignon Blanc should smell like fresh grapefruit, fresh cut grass, gooseberry. This smells like burnt rubber. Let's make sure it's not the glass or anything weird here. It's just a weird aroma. Make sure there's no... Let's see. It doesn't smell like stereotypical Sauvignon Blanc. So light, pretty tasteless, pretty bland. This is very bland. This is so neutral. Sauvignon Blanc has so much character, and this doesn't. Yeah, that's really disappointing. So, onto the Chardonnay. Color a little darker on this one. It smells like apples, baked apples. Good sign. Twenty 2021 vintage. Wow, that is really young. Gosh, such a short finish. Better on the nose than it is on the palate. Just doesn't even linger. Falls right off. It's not horrible. It's just so light and characterless. Even has a little bit of a sweet taste, which is weird. Not a lot, not like a sweet wine, but like getting an aftertaste of some sugar, and it's like artificial sugar. It's pretty gross. That aftertaste is really bad on that one. Well, that Chardonnay is not good. So that's a little disappointing. The last time I did this, the whites were far better than the reds, and the Sauvignon Blanc was better than the rest. Maybe there's vintage variation with these Charles Shaw wines. I don't know. First up here now on the reds, 2019 Merlot. Oh, God. I remember the reds. They were awful. It smells like rotten tomatoes. How does a wine smell like this? Oh my God. It smells like rotting vegetables. Oh, that's bad. Oh, and thin. Oh, it's awful. That's no good. That's not Merlot. I mean, I guess it is, but it isn't. No way. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, this is 2017 cab. That's not what I wanted. How does this even have age on it? This is scaring me. I'm surprised I had any 2017 cab left. I did not check the vintages. I know it's going to matter much. This is their Cabernet Sauvignon 2017. I can even tell it's got a little color variation, like it is aged. Oh, I didn't talk about this. Doesn't smell like anything. It's so muted on the nose. Maybe a little bit of red fruit. Oh my God. Oh, that's terrible. It's thin. It's got no flavor. These don't have tannin structure at all. They don't have structure. Period. It's like they took wine and then mixed it with water. That's what this reminds me of. It's like drinking a watery wine. Oh, that's no good. These got worse. Well, Shiraz 2017 again. And the Red Blend's 2017. I don't remember the vintages being... What, they just find some old vintage? Old inventory? Burnt rubber. Not a good aroma at all. They call this Shiraz. I think I mentioned this the first time. It should be... Shiraz is typically the name of Syrah in Australia. So I think they're doing that to kind of do a play on this is like a big, bold Australian Shiraz, but nobody puts Shiraz on their labels in the United States. I guess mine's Charles Shaw, Trader Joe's. So this wine's very unappealing on the nose. It smells like a burnt rubber. And like very, very overly, like a soot. A soot and burnt rubber. No good fruit aroma. Maybe like a rotting fruit. So this has more tannin. Super short finish again. But the flavors are not lingering like good, juicy fruit flavors. It's astringent. It tastes more like wine than the other two reds. But because it's got a little structure, but it's not good. But it's better than the other two. The aroma's horrible though. The aroma's so off-putting. Soot and burnt rubber. I feel like I'm smelling ash. And it's sour. on the palate. Now I'm getting a very sour fruit. No, this isn't good either. No way. Oh man, this is rough. This is Red Blend, also 2017. I would not suggest aging Charles Shaw wines. I don't suggest buying Charles Shaw wines, but if you do, don't age them. And I'm sorry to those that like this stuff. I just can't get into it, and I believe there's just way better wines out there from Spain, Portugal. You know, go buy CS from Washington State for anywhere from $12 to $16. The Red Blend doesn't smell. It has some red fruit. I remember last time this smelled like, I used to call it Grandma's basement, like mothballs and potpourri, but it doesn't smell like that anymore. At least this vintage of 2017. Sour fruit again, super short finish. Yeah. Some tannin. Shaw's had the most tannin. This is the least off-putting on the palate, but it's still not good. Flavors aren't really there. Doesn't have a lot going on. I just don't think you can make a good red wine for $4. It doesn't taste good. It actually tastes bad. Ugh, no good. I don't even know if I'm going to revisit any of these. I think it's just a one pass and done. I can't imagine these are going to get any better. I'll talk about the ones that are the best, but... So you can see this one's darker. So this is the Trader Joe's Grand Reserve Cab. They actually named the AVA Rutherford Napa 2019. Lot 102. Much darker. Smells like paint. Smells like paint. But there is some red fruit and dark fruit, so I do smell some red and dark fruit. Red and black fruit. But there's paint and like a slight acetone, which is weird. What do they do to these wines? They feel not manipulated. The other ones feel like they're just mixed with water, like cutting them with water. This one smells like stuff was added to it. It just has an unnatural smell. It doesn't smell like wine. I say it a lot in my videos. This smells like wine. This doesn't smell like wine. $15 for that? Oh my god. No way. I mean, a little bit of tannin. It's definitely got coloring, mega purple, mega red, something to make it look big. It doesn't taste big. It tastes a bit watered down, a little more viscous, but barely. Mm. And it's got tannin. It's making my mouth pucker, but no. I could not recommend this. Is it the best of the reds? Not for $15. CS is far superior from a price point. No. It's so short also on the finish. And it just tastes artificial. There's an artificial fruit taste. No. I'm not a fan of that. So, this one's called Juggernaut Hillside Cab by Bogle. And I typically hate wines like this, and I want them to be bad. because I just believe they're a marketing gimmick. But it is a nice label, or an attractive label. Good marketing. The bottle's extremely heavy. I had it recently, and like I said, I wanted to hate it, and I didn't. I thought it was pretty good. Now, let's see, because I had a number of wines before. It smells like wine. This is only 16, and the one next to it's 15. I mean, they don't even... Yeah, this smells so different. Now I smell the Trilogy. Oh, I mean, you get what you pay for. This is the only one of these that stands out on aroma. You get 5 or 6 things jumping out at the glass. None of the others get that, not even the Juggernaut. Although the Juggernaut smells more like real wine, but it's not in the class of the Trilogy, just from aroma. I'm going to try the Juggernaut. I'm going to go back to the Trader Joe's 15 and go Trilogy, and then just talk about the ending here. This has flavor, though. So the Juggernaut's got flavor. I can't deny it. It's got tannin. It's got acidity. It's got flavor. It's got like a coffee bean. It's a little bit of a stewed fruit flavor in it, but it's not bad. For the price, it's actually not bad. I'd like to test it against this $30 Obsidians, CS. Not the Obsidian, yeah, $30, maybe not $30 ones, but some wines that I know they're in that 20 to 25-ish range, like CS and some others maybe, to see how it stands up to those. But I might find another wine sub 20 that I could recommend to people and say this is decent wine and pretty readily available. Bogle's a big company. It's a little closed on the nose. On the palate, I'm getting more of the tastes. It lingers. There's a good spice in there too. Like there's like a baking spice. You can tell there's some oak for sure in here. I'm getting oak and cedar and some leather on that. Like this just smells fake. And thin. Now after the Juggernaut, that just tastes like water. That just tastes like water. It's unbelievable. I just think they're so poorly made. I cannot believe they sell as many as they do. I don't know how much of this Grand Reserve stuff they sell, but they sell plenty of the other stuff. Maybe not as much as they used to, but let's check this Trilogy out. Ripe fruit. Oh my god, the raspberries, cherries, blackberries. I mean, it's like ripe and juicy smelling. It smells amazing. It has a delicious smell. Some oak on it too, for sure. Probably French. Silky tannins. Like the tannins are so different. They're not where there was tannins in some of the other ones. That length, I could still feel the length. The length, that's always been the difference to me. Good quality wine has a length. I'm still tasting this wine. This is an amazing wine. I haven't had Trilogy in a long time. When I saw this wine, I got a little excited. It was on sale. Sale from 80 to 60. So, and to me, it was a no-brainer. And it really, really tastes great. It's drinking great right now. But I wanted it as just make sure my palate was in the right place. Like when I got to that one, does this taste like a $60 bottle? And does these taste like $4 bottles? The answer is yes. So I'm just going to check the Pinot Grigio because I believe the Pinot Grigio is the winner of these Charles Shaw wines. I wouldn't recommend buying this Pinot Grigio. There's plenty of Pinot Grigios that are not that expensive, from Colio Orientali, there's some in Alto Adige, and just stay away from Santa Margherita to some degree, just because they're mass produced, but there's some good Pinot Grigios. If you really want a good Pinot Grigio, Alsace, France, they call it Pinot Gris, the actual name of the grape, and it's phenomenal. Those are my favorite expressions, but there's some great Italian expressions. Yeah, the Pinot Grigio is not bad. It's the most pleasant on the nose, the most pleasant on the palate. Still have a short finish and watery-ish, but it smells like peaches, kind of tastes a little bit peachy. That's it. I do not recommend any of these. I recommend the Juggernaut and the price point. Of course, I recommend Trilogy, but you got to spend some money. I'm never buying Trader Joe's wines again, so that's it. I'm done. It's the last time I'm reviewing them, last time I'm tasting them. From here on in, if I do something, I'll be in a slightly higher price point to taste some wines that I could actually recommend, not wines that I'm going to have to now wash 10 glasses and pour all these wines out. The effort's almost barely worth the tasting. So I'm going to go make some dinner now and enjoy it with some wine. Have a good night.